let's stay on tactics real quick. I think for me, one of the things that is the most interesting to me is how Google's kind of taking a shape in some of this, right? I mean, we've been very loud advocates that, some of the PMAX and some of the lack of transparency and them eliminating their, entire support team at some point, basically. It was not good for dealers. And I still stand behind that, right?
Sure.
More recently, I think they've added some enhancements to PMAX to make it ish, nah.
Yeah, I mean,
feeling it out.
Well, so
how do we feel about that?
I mean, it's tough. I think because they're adding it's a step. It's okay. one step, and there's a giant. There's 500 stairs. And what's happened in the PMAX environment still continues to be that it looks like a really low cost, per conversion. Yeah, sure. The numbers look good, but when you look at the net leads coming to dealerships, you're not seeing that much of an increase. In fact, sometimes you're seeing a decrease because a lot of what is happening there is stuff that you'd be getting otherwise yourself. I mean, a lot of folks are buying their own brand name, through that and not realizing it, and that's what's driving those low costs. And now, I mean, is it something that we recommend doing? Yes, because that's the only way we're going to show up on the maps. And when people are looking in that very bottom of the funnel moment, what dealership to go to? You know, if I'm looking for a Honda dealership near me, I want to have my ad there, and I want to also
dominate as much of that surface possible, right? I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Yep.
And so, obviously, we see what's happening with Google. We see what's happening with, I think, the industry in general. So let's take it back to market share, right? Yeah, because there's just not going to be as many people buying cars this year. I mean, just call it what it is. Let's own it. Let's adjust.
Well,
right?
and there might be. I mean, that's a crazy thing too.
Yeah,
because
it's also true.
I mean, the ups and downs.
Everybody told me March was going to suck, and I have a lot of people saying it was the best month ever. So now I do think it's going to crunch. I think it's going to be tight for April, May. That's just my prediction. Could be totally wrong, to your point. But let's just face it, if I'm Chad Graves or Dave Spannhake in the market for any type of vehicle, I'm picking a store, maybe two tops, get my best price, and then it's going to be kind of a fight to get that, right? So let's talk on market share. We've got some exciting things going to be coming that we can't talk all the way into, but let's just say what it is. We're going to be looking at the leading metric of our industry, sales. At a much higher
What's the most important thing to you, Mr. Dealer?
Right.
Sales.
Yep. And we can talk about it, and I think often about how agencies, we have tried to force, or even the industry, we try to force GA4 into it. We try to force these different metrics that make it more important. And I do think all of those are indicators, but ultimately we all know it that, when Toyota's happy, it's because sales are up over another brand. When Ford's happy, it's because they beat GM. When our dealers are happy in a market, it's because they not just beat their sales goal. Sometimes it's not even enough to beat. We have a client, a friend that when they just beat the sales goal but lose to the competitor by volume, even if it's 2-3 cars, they're pissed. And so it's like just talks to the industry and that competition that you talked about. So let's start talking about the integration of sales and looking at sales. So for me, it's understanding the market, right? Which is the original purpose of Keylift. Understand the market, show the market.
Yep.
How would you describe for a new store that's either, they've been playing around with SEO, how much of my market should I be covering with SEO today? I mean, how much should it be, and how do I do that, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, I think it goes back to looking at your market and the sales data and what you want to do. What are your goals? Where do you want to win?
Right.
I mean, we're working with a dealer, and there's a strong focus on just different populations and hitting the high population areas. And then I think the third highest population in that area, they only sold 2 Hondas. And then there were I think 7 or 8 other towns and cities nearby that were selling 5 times or more the Hondas. And so I think when you start realizing what's going on in your market, where do you actually have an opportunity to go out and sell, that needs to be a big factor in prioritizing your SEO efforts. Do you want to have a dominant position across not just your backyard, but I mean a much larger area? Do you want to just own your entire AOR? Do you want to go beyond it for those that are allowed? And when you can start saying, okay, here's what I want to, again, the game of risk. I'm going after Kamchatka. I'm going over to Asia here. I mean, I love that.
Really threw in the terminology. I had to think about that for a second.
I love risk. I love risk. I mean, I think that's why I'm having so much fun with this.
Sure.
And this is why I think our dealers are having so much fun with it, because the conversations are not cost per click, cost per conversion. Those things matter. That's a means to an end of accomplishing. Let's go steal that market share from the competitor, because that's what gets us fired up, 100%. And that's how we win as a dealer. And to be clear, we can do that across new, used, fixed, and I think one of the things I like to stress is that it shouldn't just be limited to new or used. And you kind of hit on it earlier. Don't take our eyes off the long term, right? One day this will normalize. One day this, whether it's we just remain really high or it goes back down, whatever it is, it will normalize for the consumer, and we will accept it, and we will still continue to buy cars because people need cars, right? Thank you for watching this episode of ReUnion Station. If you like this video and want to keep hearing more, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. Thank you.